All right, I got an email from somebody, one of my either listeners or subscribers or something, and said basically, "Hey, listen, I listened to your podcast, and you're hitting all the controversial topics. You know what I mean? You're all over gun control and this and that and the other thing. It's the only thing you haven't talked about so far is gay people. So buckle up because here we go. Now, first off, I'll say this: um, I'm pro gay. I don't care. You know what I mean? Be as gay as you want. I have friends that are gay. I know people that are gay. I see gay people on TV. It's just a fact of life now. I have no qualms about it. So this is no way a message of anti-gayness or any of that other stuff. It's more just my opinion and maybe to open up a dialect a little bit about the parts of this lifestyle or whatever, or this movement or whatever you want to call it that I just don't understand. Okay, so just all right. So follow me down this rabbit hole for a second because this is how I see it, and most people tell me that I'm absolutely wrong, but in my mind, for some reason, it makes sense. It makes sense. So let's say, let's get down to the brass tacks. Beginning of the time, creation of man and woman, the whole thing, the whole purpose for sex, to have sex, or the event of sex or whatever, is and always will be to procreate. To a man, a woman, they have sex, they wait 9 months, they have a baby, that baby grows up, and so on and so forth, becomes a productive member of society or does whatever the hell it's going to do, and it populates the human race. The human race gets populated, more people, more everything's great, blah, blah, blah. If men and women are not having sex, or the ability to procreate was somehow taken away, then the last generation that was born will be the last generation on the earth, and then once everybody slowly dies off, you won't have human beings on the earth anymore. Okay. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the original purpose and the reasoning for sex was to procreate. Okay, so if we all agree, not agree on that, but if we can say that that's the whole reasoning behind sex. So if the purpose is to create, the purpose is to procreate, and that's the whole reason behind sex. I'd first start off saying by nobody cares who you have sex with. Nobody cares. You could be into crazy things. You could be into bondage. You could be into whatever you're into. You know what I mean? But a lot of that happens behind closed doors, right? So, so I'm kind of like all over the place because I'm trying to have provide a good picture of what I'm trying to think of, like my take on it. My take on it is that I don't understand. All right, so you know what you call somebody who you're in love with and who's great to you and who you really respect and have dignity and all that other stuff that you don't have sex with? That's your best friend. You know what I mean? The people you grew up with, the people that you can trust your whole life, the people that are in your life, and you say, like, no matter what happens, I can always trust on this person to be there for me and all that other stuff. Those are your friends. Those are the people that will always be there. They're ride or dies forever and always, and all that other stuff. You're not having sex with them, but those are just your favorite people and the people that you feel that you could really put your trust in, and if anything ever went down, they'd be on your side, right? Now, if you took that person, you started having sex with them, and they were the same sex, really the dynamic of your relationship and all that other stuff wouldn't change. You're still have the same relationship, except now it's a sexual relationship, right? So the point of all that I make is that I don't understand, and like I said, I don't have anything against gay people. Be as gay as you want. But what I don't understand is I don't understand the parades. I don't understand, look at us, we're gay. I don't understand the rainbow stickers and all that. I don't understand the pride of being gay, because I don't think that your sexual preference is a source of pride. I don't think that, you should have a bondage pride sticker, and you have your own symbol. And, I don't understand the sexual preference rights. Like saying, like, I like to have sex with the same with the same sex as I do, so therefore I should be treated a certain way, or I should let the world know, and all that other stuff. Like, you hear people on TV and interviews and stuff like that, and they say, well, as a gay man, I'll tell you that this, that, and the other thing. Well, how does, as a gay man, your opinion any different than anyone else's opinion who has a sexual preference that's different than anybody else's? So the part and the things that I don't understand is how there's this movement, that there's this thing, that there's the cry throughout the land to say, my sexual preference makes me want to be treated than everybody else. When if you're just gay and your sexual preference is that you're gay and you go home and you date a man, or you're a woman, you go home and you date a woman, and you just live your life and all that other stuff, I don't understand how there needs to be a pride in that. That's just who it is. I try to take things and flip them the opposite way. Like, is there ever a scenario where I would have to say, well, as a heterosexual man, or is there ever a time where I would say, like, heterosexual pride? Like, I'm proud I'm straight, or I need a symbol on the back of my car so I can let everybody know that I'm a heterosexual man. I believe in, the procreation of man and woman, and have babies and like do all that other stuff. So like, that's how I feel. And I need the world to know it. I need to have a parade. I need to, I need to make sure that everybody knows what my preference is. And I don't really believe, now growing up in New York, we had the Gay Pride Parade, and we had the Irish Parade, and we had the Puerto Rican Parade, and everyone had parades, right? And everyone had that pride of, their heritage, or the this or the that. And some of them I kind of understand. I understand your heritage, or I understand all that. I just don't understand the pride and sexual preference. Because if love is love, well, love whoever you want. No one cares. No one cares who you love. They really don't. Well, I can't say nobody cares. I can say that I don't care. I could say that, I can't remember ever having a conversation with somebody where we were talking about anything. And I went, well, hold on a second. What's your sexual preference? Just because I need to know to see how the conversation goes. It's never been a thing. But it always was a thing that made me feel uncomfortable, where I would be having a conversation with someone, or maybe not me having a conversation one-on-one with somebody, but a conversation would be happening, and it would have nothing really to do with anything. You could be talking about sports, you could be talking about this, you could be talking about that, and a person in the conversation would chime in and say, well, as a gay man, I feel this, that way, and the other thing. And I couldn't help but to think to myself, your opinion is just as important, equally as important, as if you didn't preface it or preamble it with, as a gay man. Whatever you were about to say, I'm sure was a good point. So by putting that in the beginning of it, makes it come across as if you're saying, like, my opinion matters more because I'm a gay man, and your opinion matters less because you're not. And I've always kind of felt like, I never really felt like, especially if it's not on the topic, right? If I'm in a room or in a conversation with all women, and we're talking about a man thing, I'm talking about a urinal, and I'm in a room or conversation with women, do I have to say, or does it make any more sense for me to say, well, as a man, what I can tell you is this, that, and the other thing? Does that make my opinion or my comment mean more than me just making the comment? Because if I just make the comment, it's pretty obvious, one, that I'm a man, and two, that I have a little bit of experience with this. As a gay person, I don't know that a gay person, unless we're talking about something that has to do with being gay, would have the same effect, or have the same, other than an attention grabber, other than saying like, hey, listen, everyone, listen to what I have to say because of this special circumstances that I have. And the special circumstances, in my opinion, is your sexual preference. People have all sorts of sexual preferences. And we don't put any of them on a pedestal above any others as we do with the sexual preference of gay people. Because gay people, guys aren't having sex with guys so they can procreate. They're not doing that. Guys, and this is just my opinion. I don't have any idea if it's true. Guys are having sex with guys because they're in love with a guy. They're sexually attracted to a guy, and they want to have sexual relations with a guy. That's it. Because if a guy met a guy he was really cool with, they enjoyed the same thing, they loved whatever they do, hunting, fishing, hiking, or they liked playing basketball and hockey and football, or they liked sitting at home and crocheting and playing cards, whatever it is. If you find two guys that like doing those things, well, those two guys meet up on the weekends and they do those things. And they don't have sex with each other. They just enjoy each other's company. They're best friends. You know, they go to each other's kids' games and they do all the things that guy friends would do or girls and girl friends would do, and then that's it. They go their own separate ways. I would imagine that the amount of love and respect and all of that stuff that they have for each other isn't entirely different. You know what I mean? I have friends that I've known for years that I literally, not figuratively, not like I'm saying it because it sounds fun, I'm saying it 1,000% literally, that I would take a bullet for. If it came down to a bullet was going to hit that person, and I could stand in front of that bullet so they can see the remainder of their kids being raised and all that other stuff, without a shadow of a doubt, I would take a bullet for that person. Now, I would imagine that gay people, or a gay man to another gay man who would have the same feelings, or could have the same feelings, or whatever. Or a woman who wants to marry a woman would probably say the same thing. So it's these friends of mine, I just don't have sexual relations with them. You know what I mean? So I don't think there needs to be parades. The respect and the dignity of all of that is should already be there. First of all, nobody should care who sleeps with who. You know, you go to work, you do your job, you do your thing, you mind your own goddamn business. And then, you know, when you show up to the company picnic and the boss is there with a man and Mary's there with a girl, who cares? You know what I mean? At no point is it, one, any of your business, and two, doesn't change the relationship that you had with that person. But in my opinion, it does, you know, change a relationship that I have with a person when, you know, I'm trying to have a conversation or whatever, and it's as a gay man, you know, you know, going to the parades and doing the whole thing. In my opinion, there's no need for that. There's no need to try to jam a sexual relationship or sexual preference down anybody's throat. Just be a good person, be a productive member of society, be nice to the people that are around you, and I don't think that anyone's going to care. There's people that disagree with it. There are definitely people that disagree with it, but there's people that disagree with anything, no matter what you do in life. You know what I mean? There's going to be good people and there's going to be bad people. The bad people are going to be bad no matter what you do. The good people are going to be good. You know what I mean? And most good people, they don't have any qualms to the things, the who you are, what you do, why you do it, or any of that other stuff. They may not agree with it, and it may not be their lifestyle, but that doesn't mean that they don't, you know, respect you and all of that other stuff. So in response, basically, to the person who was asking me why I hit all the topics except this one, these are things that I talk about because I'm interested in them. You know what I mean? And I have my own take on them. And sometimes my take isn't the way everybody feels that my take should be. Sometimes my take on things is a little bit different, more for the lack of knowledge or for the lack of understanding, or just because I say, like, you know, why would the subject that I'm talking about feel this certain way? And why do I feel this certain way? And how do I get a better understanding of their point of view to where it makes more sense to me? Or how do I change my point of view to where I say, oh, okay, now I see why they were doing that. Well, that makes sense. But what I can tell you now is right now I don't feel that way. Right now I feel like there's this big explosion, a big hullabaloo of acceptance and understanding and all of that other stuff that if you don't feel the way this group of people want you to feel, then you're a problem. then you need to be, shunned, or you need to be this, or you need to be that. And I think that that's getting to a point now that it's getting explosive. It's getting to a point now where even if I say, listen, I'm pro-gay, I don't care how gay you are. You can be as gay as you want and be married to a man or be married to a woman or be whatever you want. I don't even care. That's not good enough because I have to say that I support it. If I don't say to somebody who's gay, and they say, do you support gays? And I say, well, not that I don't support them. I don't really put any thought to it. But do you support them? I'm like, support them how? I don't understand. What do you mean by do I support them? I don't care that if people are gay. It doesn't have an effect on me at all. It's not something that I think about ever. So I guess I don't really know what support that means. Am I going to go and am I going to hold up a sign? Am I going to, be in front of the courthouse and am I going to go to the parade? No, I'm not going to do that. So does that mean that I don't support them? No, but there's a lot of parades I don't go to. I don't go to the Puerto Rican Day parade either because I'm not Puerto Rican. Do I support them? I don't know. I don't have anything to do with them. I don't, I go to the Irish parade because I'm Irish, So I think that when people start letting people just be who they are and be what they want to be and how they want to be, and the opposite side lets the people that support or don't support them or whatever feel the way they want to feel, then I think we'll have a kinder, gentler world. We'll have people that have a better understanding of how each other lives, and we can, we could coexist in a better scenario without having to be so venomous and so hatred and so all of that other stuff towards each other. We really, in the grand scheme of things, just need to mind our own goddamn business. That's what we need to do. Don't be so worried about what other people are doing and be more worried about what you're doing. So, in summary, I will say this. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care what your sexual preference is. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. But, I think that I need a better understanding on why we need the parades. Listen, I know there's an argument here about, well, if I'm on my deathbed and I want someone to visit me in the hospital, if I'm not married to them, then they can't be at my deathbed and they can't, they can't be in charge of my will or whatever all those things are. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about marriage. Marriage is a completely different thing. I'm just talking about just the sexual preference of being gay and how, in my opinion, all it is a sexual preference. It has nothing, in my opinion, to do with love. It just has to do with the act of sex. And really, that's it. And I'm probably sure I'm going to get shunned and get, some hate mail and all that other stuff for it. But if you really, really think about it, if you really go down to the brass tacks, you just go back to the way it used to be and, the beginning of the creation of man and woman, what was the point and what was the purpose of it? Anything out of that is basically a sexual preference. And that's just what it is. I'm not a highly religious person. I'm not saying because God said this or because God said that. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying, is there any validity to anything I'm saying? Is there any well, you know what? Maybe he does have a point there because I love plenty of guys. I know plenty of guys that if they called me up right now and said, hey, I need your help, grab a shovel and a bag of lye, meet me in the desert, I'm there. I am 100% there without any questions. I'm on my way. But that and having a sexual relationship with them is completely two different things. So where do I stand on this? What do you think? Comment, let me know, send me an email, something, because either I have a point or I'm bonkers and I'm just, somebody's going to respond and say, you're way off line and this is why. And I respect that and I can learn from that and I can have better knowledge on conversations that I have from that. I had a guy send me a really long response on the gun control video I did. Very well crafted, very well put together. And I had a great deal of respect for his expertise in the field, but also his ability to put it in a way where I understood it. I went, you know what? Maybe I could move on some of these points. Maybe I could shift a little bit in his direction because I see it through a different light. I see it through a different understanding. When I try to have conversations like this with my kids, they're just like, Dad, stop, Dad, stop, Dad. So now I get to record it. I get to put it on the internet. I get to put it all over the world for everybody to say, come on, man, stop. Stop, man, stop. You're killing me. Come on, man, stop. And that's that. So let me know what you thought about it. Thank you very much. Have a great day.